Alright, let's keep going. So in the last class, we covered those variables. We talked about string variables, numeric variables, boolean variables. Let's go over everything again. Here's inclusion including mentioning the admin permissions. Next, we'll talk about the array variable and the mapping variable. I think of it this way when we talk about binary variables or what we used to think of as ternary variables. Really, we should just call them multi-value variables instead. I came up with this name myself. Alright. Let me show you. So for the array variable, let's go ahead and create this class and give it a parameter for. Let's take that,
account.
and then use a colon. Let's put this array variable into an example. For example, use something like student name, right? Then you put a colon, followed by a capitalized list, and inside the brackets, you'd have, it's a string. So basically this array just has strings in it, like names. We're going to go ahead and initialize this variable the same way. So, for initializing this equation, let's just throw an n in it tru seeds tie-in, as that's pretty much standard practice. Alright, we can just pick any name. How about init parameter 4 in the parentheses, just like the international norm mentioned above. Keep things like aura, singer, and empty as they are. Just put everything in there. For use lowercase. You can think of the uppercase as the type. That's how we set up the function for the digital variable. Now let's write what's inside. Let's take the object for parameter 4, initialize it with the init parentheses, just like the international practice mentioned above. Grab those seeds and bring them down here. It's just standard practice everywhere. Nothing unusual. We still don't really want that array to change. Let's just send a string to it directly. That'll be our seeds. To make it easier to retrieve, we'll use student name as the seed string. Alright, so we're done with that initialization variable equation. Now let's make another change. Update the name. And copy another instruction here. There's also a function here. Let's call it update and use a variable called parameter 4. Parameter 4. Then add a little parentheses. Just follow the usual international practice and put the signatures or whatever right in here. Since the signer is a specific type, we're changing that variable to a lowercase s, while the variable itself is an uppercase s. So, including, we need to bring over the admin we just talked about. The type for admin is an uppercase. We can go back and look at that again here. Admin is an uppercase. So, we have a little lowercase admin. Used to compare this admin. We're updating these variables. So do we need to adjust this admin? Just check if I'm a teacher at this school or if I'm one of the project managers. If I am, then we can only change my student's name if we have the right permissions, you know? And also, the admin needs to be the same as the R. I mean, it has to match the singer, right? He is one of our variable names. You don't use it, you'll get an error. Oh, there's something else that hasn't been passed, which is parameter 4. What's parameter for an uppercase? Uppercase is the type. Lowercase is the actual thing. But no worries. You can just type whatever here. It's totally fine. We can just go ahead and type whatever we want. You can use this. It's fine. It's just a bit informal. So, let's dive into the logic behind this. This might be a bit tricky, so everyone pay close attention. Basically, here's how we should write it. Sorry about that. I've got 2 more variables to finish up. One is the old name. I even forgot to pass that old name. There's the new name too, which is gotta be new student name, okay? Well, that's a lot to pass on. It's kind of tough to handle all these students, you know? I mean, basically, we should compare and see if our old student is in this list. For example, I have a Zhang Sen here. Then there's also this guy Li Si. So with Zhang Sen and Li Si, we need to check things out. If we're gonna change the name, like if my uncle. The old student's name is Wang Wu, but that's not in our records. So how am I supposed to change it? We need to check first if his name is in the system. So generally, we should write it like this. If it's this old student name and their student name, then it should be like that. Parameter 4 is just that it's the student name in an object. If it exists, then it gets executed. But this seahorse thing just won't compile. He can't get it to compile. There's something wrong with his compilation. He is in prison. The way he's doing it just doesn't work because I've already tried it out and ran into the same issue. So, we need to rephrase this a bit. It might sound a bit wordy. But, let's give it a variable. Basically whether or not this exists. So, I'm just gonna give him a 0 by default. It's like a switch. You'll see how important it is later. By the way, the index is 0 too, because we're gonna loop them. Like 1234. Right. 0 is Young 3. 1 is Lee. 4 is who knows who. So it keeps looping like this. Once we find the old student name, we'll know who the index is. Then we can go ahead and modify the variable for that specific index. It's like this. It can be a bit tricky. But we can write it like this using a for loop. So, it's like, I just keep looping through numbers like 12 third I for. Then I grab this parameter, which is the student name. Then I get that name. Let's do another comparison. His name is equal to that one. The old student name is equal to this. Then, if that's the case, we'll execute whatever it is. We have to deal with the name. It basically means there's this name we can change to 1. And then, index equals I. So we need to handle that I. Aren't we looping here? So, 123 loops like this. We take the I that exists. For example, if my old student name is Lee C, then, I definitely have 101 here. It's the second place. So I'll just copy that into this index for later use. Then, you don't get this. Just take a look at Python's syntax for an hour or so. You should be good to go. No need to mention the names in there. It's pretty deep. But if you can understand most of it, that's good. If he breaks out, this proves something like he actually has a name and is on that list. So he jumps out. After that, we compare. If the old student name equals 1, it basically means you have that name, right? So we just go to the right index and change that student's name. Like, number 1, number 2, or is it number 0? So, let's say I'm talking about someone named Wang Wu, but I don't actually have Wang Wu here. So after it loops here, he still can't get into this if statement, which means his, have old student name, is 0. So he can't get in there and can't make any changes. It just means it was all for nothing. You know? So basically, if this phrase is usable, this check doesn't really need to be this complicated, but it is what it is. We just have to write it this way. So, this is just an update to fix that. And there's adding, you know, like with an array, if we add a student. So, if we can add, then we definitely can remove too. Let's take it step by step. If we're adding something, we definitely need to remove something. So for the additions, let's start by writing it down here. Then name it. Give it a function name, like student. Alright, add student, and then add some parentheses. So basically, we just need to bring this parameter for over here. I definitely need to get this array over. We should also pull it from inside there. So, when we add that, why is our parameter 1 like this? It's parameter 1, you know? It's what we've covered in our 3 classes. We can take a look at it. No need to worry. So, parameter 1 is the number of students. So, we set the number of students to 0. But at first, how many students are we actually going to set it to? Oh wait, maybe not. I'd better change it back to 0. Otherwise, it's definitely going to cause issues. So, start with 0, then add a student. It should just be like this. Otherwise things could go wrong with our student name. We need to give it name. I'm adding a student. Then I should give it name. After that, let's go ahead and write down the equation. It's actually pretty easy to write it down. Like, let's grab the student name from parameter 4. Then we can add a new name to the array using that add or append thing, which is basically the end. Just use this append to add the student name in there. That's it. Done. But we still need to increase the student count by 1. So, there's this parameter 1. It has a number in it, like the number of students. It starts at 0 and then it increments by 1. So, I believe that reason. We're just adding one thing here. That's it. Now, aside from students, it's a bit more complicated. To start, let's keep the instruction, right? This instruction is totally overdone. Just remove the function name and call it remove student. You know? For the student who's not doing well, kick him out for this. It's the same with pulling this parameter. This array over for him. It'll be useful. Including this parameter is useful too. You know, I find it helpful here. I won't go ahead with that protection here since it's a limitation of our permissions. So we're just not adding it. We have to add more. Honestly, it feels like there's just too much content. Alright, if you want to add that password for him, just remember the sing ray and add it in. Then copy and paste that sentence into the permissions. Just go ahead and add it in directly. That works. It's really simple. I've already added it anyway. I'll just add it directly. That's fine. So, I believe I would. Here's parameter 4. We also need to include the name of which student. So, I believe. Am I supposed to kick out Zheng San or Wang Wu? I really need a clear answer on this. It's a bit confusing. Business letter goes. Then throw in a colon. Let's just paste that permission protection here. So, back to that earlier question. If it's all good. Normally, We just take parameter for to get that list. The list of student names would be the fourth one. Just use that method in Python to remove the name, whether it's Shang San or Li Si. That's it. But, unfun, this seahorse can't handle that remove thing, so we still need to use something similar to this. The old way of doing a for loop. Pull it out and trim it down. Let me check what's going on here. This doesn't seem to be the problem we had earlier. So this is supposed to be about emptying the assistant. We definitely need to clear it out. The empty admin stuff isn't really needed. I'm not sure where it got copied from. I pasted it here. Let's check 115 again. Just take a look. It's this sentence. Isn't it doesn't work? Doesn't work at all. Let's just forget about that. So, here's what we'll do. Let's create an array. New student name. And then give it an empty array. We actually tried something like that before, but it was more of a quick fix. We were just looking at that earlier video we made. Isn't there a list of the top 10 types? This kind is a zero-sum game. We can't change that. In tests like this, we can't pull it out. It's just a temporary storage. So, we've got this new student name that's created empty, and we're on a for loop. Inside the loop, we do the same thing with the name. We've got that here too. So for parameter 4, we're talking about the student name. We get that, and we end up with a list of these names. We can loop through it once. First, we give it a new array. So then, Jiang San is up next. That's what we see. Here's the deal. Let's throw in an if statement like, if this name is. This name doesn't mean the same thing. It's like saying, not equal to, with an exclamation mark and an equals sign. It's pretty clever how they make it not equal automatically. It's not the same as the student name. It's just that I'm giving him that name. When we talk about him, we just add it in. Think about it. Does that make sense? Let's say I want to remove Wang Wu, but it doesn't match up with either Zhang San or Li Si. So, Zhang San isn't a match with him. Zhang San isn't the same as Wang Wu. Then, add Zhang San to that list in the new student names section. There's Li Si. Li Si isn't the same as Wang Wu. So if you keep adding stuff little by little and then you want to remove Li Si, if Li Si equals Li Si, then he definitely can't join in. So if it's equal, he can't get in, which makes it pretty clever. Kicked it out. And how does he hit enter? Parameter for student name needs to equal this new student name we just created, which is this array. Copy it over. And let's figure out why we're bringing this parameter 1 in for the number of students. There's a student count here. If we need to reduce that by 1, then, if it's 1, we go back to what we just had. If it's 2, so I'll take 1 off, which makes it 1. Alright. Add students. Remove student. We've already talked about the updates with the students. It's all set. Since we've been chatting for a while now, let's go over the mapping variable. I'll introduce it in the next video. So see you in the next one.